New information about a house fire that nearly killed the woman inside, how crews were able to get her to safety, and why they think she may have been squatting in the home. Plus, it's playoff time in Indy. Rich Nye gets you ready for kickoff against the Bengals and tells us how a win today could set up a very special matchup in the divisional round.
And for the tailgaters, hey, the rain may be gone, but the snow may be on the way. That plus 30-mile-per-hour winds as we head onto this big playoff Sunday. Your forecast is coming up.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News Sunrise starts now.
Good morning to you. Welcome to Sunrise. It's now 7 o'clock on your Colts Sunday. I'm Naomi Peskovitz, Chuck Lofton in for Kelly, and we wish we were welcoming you with better weather news.
I know.
We're still happy to have you.
Well, it's good to be here with you, Naomi, especially since I think a lot of people are concerned about this. What in the world is going to happen? If you think about the next 4 days, we have wind today and a little bit of snow this afternoon. We have single-digit temperatures for the kids going back to school, and we could see 1 to 3 inches of snow on Tuesday.
Whoa.
So, boy, I'm just
getting worse.
Yeah, I'm just bringing all the good news. Bring back Kelly quick. Hey, let's take a look at radar over the past few hours, and we had rain and drizzle, so really nothing going on except in some areas there's a little mist, but you may walk out the door and you've got wet pavement. Yes, that will be present for the entire morning. In the meantime, if you're headed up Interstate 65, this is snow that's falling in the Chicagoland area down to around Valparaiso. And this, let me pull out wider here, is going to whip down as an area of low pressure moves north. The winds will shift, and this will come toward Indianapolis. So later on this afternoon, I'm not looking for a lot of snow, maybe a half an inch or so, but we will have snow showers this afternoon during the Colts game. 38 in Zionsville, 40 degrees in Southport, and 39 in Guy. So it's really warm out there. In fact, Greenwood, you're at 42. That is 6 degrees warmer than the average high. But what goes up must come down, and these temperatures already starting to now in the northwest corner of our viewing area, with Lafayette dropping now to 33 degrees. And that's going to be key because we'll get about a half an inch of snow in some spots today. But as we go into Tuesday, an inch to 3 in the metro. On Tuesday, 5 inches of snow possible, as we take an early look at what's happening. So with a 33-mile-per-hour wind gust at the airport right now, here's what's going on a little bit later on today. We'll see temperatures slowly fall, 36 degrees by 8 a.m., a windy 35 at the noon hour. And during the game, and about the time the game's over, we could see some light snow with a temperature of 31. So much to talk about. We'll get it hour by hour, even through tomorrow morning when many of the kids go back to school, Naomi, in a few minutes.
All right, Chuck, we'll check back with you soon. New on Sunrise, an off-duty Indiana State Police trooper struck a pedestrian walking alongside a Bloomington roadway last night. Trooper Justin Butler was driving his police vehicle northbound on Rockport Road, just north of Coolidge Drive, when he struck 51-year-old Jerry Doss. Doss was initially taken to IU Health, then later flown to Methodist Hospital, where he is in stable condition this morning. Police say it was raining last night, and that stretch of the road is not well lit. Alcohol is not believed to be a factor in that accident. Also new this morning, 2 people are in the hospital after a fiery crash downtown. Police say it happened just before midnight yesterday near Mass Ave and Elizabeth Street. That's where 2 cars crashed into each other and 1 caught fire. Police say 2 people had to be removed from the wreckage. Officers blocked roads in the area while crews cleaned up the scene. Also new on Sunrise, 2 people are now being charged in connection with a Christmas Day homicide. Detectives say 42-year-old William Alexander Paz has been arrested for murder, and 26-year-old Juan Alberto Emul Pop has been arrested for assisting a criminal, obstruction of justice, and failure to report a dead body. This morning, Pop is being held in an Ohio jail pending extradition to Indiana. The county coroner has ruled the death a homicide, but has not yet identified the man or released a cause of death. We're learning new information this morning about a house fire that nearly killed the woman inside. That fire broke out late last night, just before 10:30 in the 400 block of West 41st Street. That is in the Butler-Tarkington neighborhood on the north side. Investigators believe it started in a bedroom of what appears to be a vacant home. Firefighters found the 55-year-old woman inside, suffering from smoke inhalation. Medics revived her and rushed her to the hospital in serious but stable condition. We still don't know the woman's identity or whether she lived in the house. Investigators say she may have been squatting there.
The house is boarded up, the windows are boarded up, and there is a realtor's lock on the front door. Several of the utilities are not working at this residence, so we're kind of, at this point, we're looking into the possibility that it is a vacant home.
Investigators also say there were no working smoke detectors in the house. Students in Muncie are coping with the loss of two of their own this weekend. Two sisters were killed when the pickup truck they were riding in crashed into a western Indiana business. Annie and Caroline Clark were among three teenagers who died in that wreck in Cayuga. That's in Vermilion County, north of Terre Haute. Investigators believe the driver was speeding when the truck lost control, hit an embankment, and ended up in an office building. Friends describe Annie, who was a senior, as a popular cheerleader. Her sister, Caroline, was an active gymnast. The third teen who died and the 18-year-old injured were both members of the North Vermilion State Championship football team. We saw the NFL wildcard playoffs right here on Channel 13 last night, but now it's the Colts' turn. Eyewitness Sports anchor Rich Nye this morning with the playoff perspective from one of the Colts playing in his first postseason game.
Good morning. If the Colts beat the Bengals today, they will play in Denver next Sunday. Bengals top receiver A.J. Green will not play against the Colts today. Green is still recovering from a concussion. The Colts and Bengals play every year in the preseason. The teams meet in the postseason for the first time since the Colts moved to Indianapolis. Colts leading tackler DeQuell Jackson finally looks forward to his playoff debut today. His first season with the Colts included a team-high 184 tackles. Jackson spent his first 8 years in Cleveland and never made the playoffs.
That's why I play the game. This is why I play, and especially, having the opportunity to be here. Yeah, you look around you, there's banners everywhere, here and the indoor facility, at the locker room. So it's constant reminders of we win here, and that's what, I love that. I love that because, why else would you, what else would get you through the dog days if you didn't love what you were doing, if you didn't want to be in these type of situations?
And again, a Colts win today sends the Colts to Denver to face Peyton Manning and the Broncos next Sunday for a 4:40 kickoff. How about that for a storyline? But one game at a time.
Yeah, and Rich, the big game today, of course, the Colts and Bengals. Playoff time is here. A lot of folks going, and they're going to be in for it.
Yes, that's right. Hopefully in for a win, but in for a windy day. Hey, the good news is right now, some of you are at 40 degrees. It's 39 downtown, but temperatures are going to drop all day long. We'll see winds in excess of 30 miles per hour and some afternoon snow. Your timeline is coming up.
Plus, new clues uncovered into the investigation in that Air Asia crash. What search crews believe they have found in the water, and what's getting in the way of those recovery efforts. Plus, tornado outbreak in Mississippi will show you the damage that left thousands without power this morning. Welcome back. Time now is 7:10 and it's Sunday in Indonesia, where improving weather will help the search for the wreckage of AirAsia Flight 8501. Divers plan to examine debris on the floor of the Java Sea, believed to be remains of that plane. NBC's Kelly Kobiela reports from Indonesia on why investigators are confident they finally found what they're looking for.
It's their best clue yet. In 90 feet of water, 4 large objects. Searchers tried to get a better look with underwater cameras, but couldn't get them to work in rough seas. Instead, a mapping ship measured them from the surface. The biggest piece is 59 feet long and 18 feet wide and appears to be part of the jet's body. Another is 31 feet long and 15 feet wide. And scattered around, chunks of debris 39 feet long. The head of the Indonesian search and rescue operation says he's confident they've found the wreckage from AirAsia 8501. The key now, tracking down the black boxes.
It's also important for investigators to understand the condition of each of the victims as they're recovered, because that could shed light on how much impact forces was sustained by the aircraft in each of the victims.
Today they expanded the search area and identified more bodies as more families learned their loved ones were among those found. Agung Darmono already buried his sister-in-law. His brother, 9-year-old niece, and mother are still missing.
Has it been difficult waiting?
He told me waiting is hard to bear, but it's in God's hands.
Today, a second U.S. Navy ship arrived in the area to aid the Indonesians in the search effort. The USS Fort Worth joins the several hundred U.S. troops on the USS Sampson, who've been helping with the recovery since Monday. Kelly Kobiela, NBC News, Surabaya.
The trial of a Boston Marathon bombing suspect, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, will proceed as scheduled tomorrow. By a 2-to-1 vote, the Federal Court of Appeals denied a defense request to postpone the trial and move it out of Massachusetts. Jury selection will begin tomorrow morning from a pool of 1,200 potential jurors. The process is expected to take up to 2 weeks to complete. Tsarnaev has pleaded not guilty to the April 2013 bombings that killed 3 people and injured hundreds of others. At least 2 confirmed tornadoes swept through parts of Mississippi this weekend, causing significant damage to homes in several counties. Trees were snapped and several mobile homes were destroyed and blown into the woods. Emergency crews are on the scene. Officials say no one was home at the time. No injuries have been reported. Many homes in the surrounding area are now without power. The National Weather Service posted flash flood watches throughout much of south and central Mississippi.
And this is a look at radar over the past few hours. A lot of the rain has moved out, but wind has moved in, and we could see some snow showers just in time for the Colts playoffs game today. Your forecast is coming up.
All right, it's time to take care of the fireplace and the Christmas tree. And Christmas trees and fireplaces don't mix. Coming up.
And welcome back. You can see the wind blowing around our camera out there. It is already getting kind of windy, and it's only going to get windier if you're out there going to the Colts game today.
Right, and the good news is, you know, it's like 40 degrees in spots right now.
Right now.
Yeah, that's going to change. In fact, we just got this news release. I'm going to read this verbatim because literally this just came in. Naomi, the Indy Snow Force is going to activate 40 snow plows at 11 this morning in advance of predicted freezing temperatures and light snowfall. The windy conditions, too, are doing that. So at 11 o'clock today, I think that's a really good move because you're going to have people coming up from Cincinnati. You're going to have people in the metro trying to get to the Colts game today. And if that stuff does occur before,
at least they're ready to go.
That's right, absolutely. So let's show you what they're ready for. Right now, there's not a whole lot going on except the gusty winds. You'll have wet pavement as you head out the door today. This is the wide view I'm showing you of Doppler 13 as the rain has moved through. Here's some snow in the Chicagoland area, and that is going to whip down to the south here later on today. In the meantime, let's hope that this is the house of pain for the Bengals as they come in for today's game. And we're going to hear more from Rich Nye talking about today's game in just a bit. This is the Colts logo at the Indianapolis Power and Light headquarters. Right now, 36, winds out of the west at 16, so our wind chill is 26, but we've had gusts to 33 miles per hour out at the airport, and as we prepare for today, it will be windy and damp. We'll see some falling temperatures, and for the time leading up to the Colts game, I actually think that when these Indy snowplow drivers hit the road to prepare the roads, we could see a little sun. But look what happens as we move into the day. The winds start howling, and there's a very good chance that we could see some snow showers here. Wind gusts currently nearly 30 miles per hour in Muncie and Marion and Kokomo, 23 mile per hour gusts in Lafayette, and 29 in Seymour. Well, as we progress throughout the day, temperatures will slowly fall with these winds in excess at times of 30 miles per hour. Then the Arctic air pours in tonight, bringing upper air disturbance in. That means single digits tomorrow, but snow Monday night into Tuesday. We've got a lot going on the next few days, so let's walk you through it with our future track. This is, again, 8 o'clock today. We'll be fine. This is 2 o'clock, all right? So we're talking about maybe 25 or 30 of our counties at that point, seeing some snow showers, and yes, this does include the metro area. Let me take you a little deeper into the afternoon. This is 5:30. We've beaten the Bengals by this time, hopefully like 59-0. But take a look at this. Widespread snow on I-70 all the way into Ohio, 31 to South Bend. So that means it could be a little slippery. That's why the Indy Snow Force is headed out there at 11 o'clock today to prepare the roads. Now tomorrow, a lot of districts start going back to school. It will be clear and really cold. We're talking single digits. Now let's go to Monday night. I think the rush hour tomorrow is okay, but this is 11 p.m. when Angela's on the air, and we'll have widespread snow showers. Some of the computer models estimate that as we go into the morning rush hour, we could have an inch or so, maybe a little more than that, in the metro into Tuesday morning, but heavier amounts up around Lafayette, perhaps in excess of 3 inches. Now, this is a look at the projections on snow. Again, not much today. 1 inch, maybe 3 inches between Indianapolis and Lafayette Monday night into Tuesday, with some spots getting 5. And then the jet stream dipping to the south, allowing the coldest air of the season to just funnel through here throughout the next few days. And Wednesday, for instance, really cold, but we're going to get used to these cold single-digit temperatures at times. So let's show you what's going on today. Windy, some snow showers, temperatures fall. 8 tonight, only 16 tomorrow. Monday night into Tuesday, it snows with a high of 26. Only 7 degrees for a high on Wednesday, 7 below zero on Wednesday night, and then Thursday, a high of 15. And Naomi, we will have much more for you in a few minutes.
All right, Chuck, thank you. And every Sunday, Pat Sullivan from Sullivan Hardware and Garden gives us great advice for do-it-yourself home improvements. Today, he talks about fireplace safety and what you should be doing before you start your next fire for those cold nights ahead.
We're ready for the Colts game. We're sitting around. We're excited about the game. How about the fireplace? Thinking about starting a fire? Well, you know, if you haven't checked your fireplace out lately, it might be a good idea to think about some common sense things. Number one, it really should be inspected by a chimney sweep once a year. Now, if you don't burn, if you're just a holiday burner, maybe you don't have to do it. But if you're burning a fair amount, you want to have a chimney sweep come out and kind of check it out, because they will check the inside of the flue, they'll sweep it, where they're looking for creosote. That's not the soot. The the creosote is real shiny, hard, and black. That's the dangerous part. This is kind of common. But you want to have them come in and look at the fire brick. See the cracks in the fire brick? That can be dangerous. This is a really old fireplace right here inside of a 100-year-old home. So this can really cause a problem. But they will check up top there. They'll make sure you want to make sure you have a cage on the top, a chimney cap, because you don't want animals getting down, birds get down in there. You want to take care of all that. Now, of course, the big talk about Christmas trees, and I know some of us still are getting rid of our trees. Just because the city isn't recycling them, put them out with the trash. Don't burn them, because when you try to, the worst is when somebody tries to take a full Christmas tree and feed it into the fireplace. That never works out very well, because and even cutting it up, when you go shoving these things in here, the flame gets so high. That's how you can get flue fires, because it can ignite up above. So generally, you always want to have your flue kind of in a, burning fires, roaring fires aren't a great idea. A nice, calm, regular fire. This is just a 3-hour fire log. Starting it and preheating the flue is an important thing, because you want the fireplace to be able to draw. So you don't want to start off with a roaring fire. You start with one of these, put it in there, preheat the flue so that it draws. You always want to be up on a grate. And then you can start adding the wood, but just a couple logs. Don't get the thing roaring. All right. People always ask about creosote. This is a creosote sweeper log that is supposed to maintain your chimney flue. You know what? Is there a benefit? I think it's probably a benefit to a fireplace that's been inspected by a chimney sweep. But if you haven't had it inspected, this is not going to take care of your problems. All right. Last thing, if you have a fire, make sure that you have a smoke detector, which you need anyways, and of course a carbon monoxide detector. Very important. You have a screen, you have a glass, and you want to be safe. You want to enjoy the fire, but we don't want to burn down the house.
All right, Pat, as always, thank you. Well, the price of the pump nears a major milestone where you can fill your gas tank for close to $1.50 a gallon. Plus, some good news for a family hit by burglars on Christmas. What missing items they were reunited with this weekend. Welcome back. The holiday continues for all of us at the gas pump. This weekend, our crews found gas as low as $1.52 in Crawfordsville, just a few cents away from breaking that $1.50 mark. Now, experts say the prices could last.
Drivers stopped at this mobile station in Crawfordsville for a little more
then a full tank. It was also their shot at a rare photo.
It is kind of a morale boost, especially around Christmas time. It was wonderful.
To get a couple of cheap tanks really helps out after the holidays.
We caught several drivers documenting the $1.52 a gallon because the last time prices were this low, you likely didn't have a smartphone. Do you remember the last time it was $1.52?
Gosh, probably been since I've been in high school. So probably about 6-8 years ago.
I can't remember the last time I saw 152. I think my kids were probably in middle school. Been a while. It's wonderful.
No, I can honestly not remember. It's been years.
And if you think these prices are cheap, brace yourself. They could fall even more. AAA says they could fall another 10 cents later this month, and the low prices could last through 2015.
Especially with a bunch of bills stacking up and a little bit more change in the pocket, definitely makes for a nicer trip home.
Also from AAA, American households saved an average of about $115 on gas in 2014, most in the last few months of the year. Now drivers hope the savings pay off in other places too.
I'm kind of waiting for grocery prices to go down too. Now the transportation's going to be cheaper.
But for now, they're taking every gallon they can get. And according to GasBuddy.com, the average in Indiana today is $1.94, making it the 6th lowest in the nation. You can always look up the cheapest gas prices on WTHR.com. Look under Hot Topics to find the best deals. Well, still ahead in the next half hour of Sunrise, we continue to follow the latest developments in a massive fight at the mall. How police were able to remove crowds from Castleton Square, coming up in a live report.
And on a windy morning, gusts ranging from 25 miles per hour in Bloomington to 29 miles per hour in Muncie. We'll see wind, we'll see snow, and the Indy Snow Force is going to send out 40 drivers at 11 a.m. Lots to talk about in this changing forecast. We'll get to it in minutes.
Mall brawl now on Sunrise Sunday. For the second time in 3 months, a large crowd of teenagers starts fighting at the Castleton Square Mall. I'm Matt McCutcheon. The very latest coming up live.
Plus, a family pleads for answers after the murder of a pregnant Sullivan County woman. Coming up, how her parents are demanding justice for their daughter and their unborn grandson.
And a look at radar. The rain is gone, but the snow is coming in. We have Indy Snow Force that will have 40 folks on the roads beginning at 11 a.m. It's a windy playoff day, and your forecast is coming up.
From Indiana's news leader, Eyewitness News at Sunrise continues.
Good morning to you. Welcome to Sunrise. Time now is 7:30 on your Colts Sunday morning, and Chuck Lofton is in for Kelly Green this morning. Thanks for joining us.
I wish she had to take it today off. This is crazy. We've got a lot going down.
Tough news for us.
We do. You know, it looks like, as we had expected, I thought Angela did a great job laying out the forecast last night at 11. And Naomi, it looks like this is all coming to pass. The rain basically over, but it's going to be very windy, and we could see some snow move in here. Let's show you what I mean here by first looking at Lucas Oil Stadium live. And if you look very carefully, the lights are on inside the stadium, and they are ready for today's playoff game against the evil Cincinnati Bengals. Now, the good news is that right now there's no precipitation of note going on. However, we do have some snow that will move in later on this afternoon. It's really windy out there, folks. My goodness, we've had gusts to 33 miles per hour at Indianapolis International, 29 in Muncie, 25 in Bloomington. And as we move through the day, we're way above freezing. In fact, the average high this time of year is 35, and we're at 39 already in Southport, 38 at Castleton. Cicero, you're at 36. It's 43 in Columbus. And how about this? 48 degrees in Seymour. But this is the key right here. Temperatures are continuing to drop. When I came in this morning, it was 41 in Lafayette. It is now 32. So that northwesterly breeze is starting to punch in. And as it does, our temperatures today will slowly fall. But we're on the backside of the storm, so that means that winds will exceed 30 miles per hour at times. And this will bring in some snow showers. A lot of this stuff falls this afternoon during the Colts game. And in preparation of that, the Indy Snow Force at 11 o'clock today is going to send out 40 drivers in the metro area to prepare the roads for the freezing temperatures and for the snow. We'll have the timeline on this, when it's going to end, and yet more snow on the way Monday night. Naomi, we'll get to that in just a bit.
Okay, Chuck, thank you. Tensions boiled over last night as large groups of teens started fighting at Castleton Square Mall. This for the second time in 3 months. At one point Saturday night, there were reports of shots being fired at the Northside Mega Mall. IMPD says they prevented it from being worse thanks to posts on social media. Sunrise reporter Matt McCutcheon is there live this morning with the latest on the situation. Matt, good morning.
Naomi, you can just imagine the fear when someone runs into a movie you're watching, which was the case here at the AMC Theater last night, saying that shots are being fired. That's what one Facebook viewer describes happening. They said that they simply ducked under the chairs inside that theater to take shelter. At the end of the day, IMPD says they couldn't find any shots actually being fired here at the mall, but they did work quickly to clear out the scene. The video shows the scene of a large group of unruly teenagers here at the mall that started fighting around 8 o'clock last night. That's when shoppers here describe a scene of chaos unfolding at the mall, people running into different stores to take shelter after reports of shots fired. Again, IMPD saying that they did not find any evidence of those actual shots being fired, but understandably, a lot of scary times here at the mall last night.
It was like two groups at a time, and then like people just keep jumping in, like they're just like kicking each other, and then everybody ran, and we had to like go inside a store, and they closed it.
When we got locked in the store, like I didn't really know what was happening. Like I tried to ask somebody, and they were like nobody really knew because everybody was just running up and down.
With the large group of teenagers here, police talked to several of them, they say, but at the end of the night, there were no arrests in this case. They continue looking at things like surveillance video to try to determine who exactly instigated everything here around 7:45 Saturday night. As for the mall, it will reopen at 11 o'clock this morning. Business as normal. Other than that, mall management has no comment this morning. Reporting live, Matt McCutcheon, Channel 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. Again, this is not the first time police have had to control teens at Castleton Square. In October, 24 officers were called to the AMC Theater when a big fight broke out there. And in March of 2013, a fight inside the mall spilled into the parking lot and brought a police helicopter and more than 24 officers. In that case, police arrested 5 teens and confiscated 2 guns. We know so many of you have questions about what happened last night at Castleton, and so do we. So this morning we are welcoming IMPD Assistant Chief Lloyd Crow to our studios to find out more about what happened. Assistant Chief, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning to you. And first question, will there be more security at the malls today and in the days moving forward?
Well, during this time of the year when we know kids are out of school, during holiday times, we do add increased patrols in the mall area, yes.
Talk to us about how you learned about what was going on last night and then the initial police response.
About 7:45 last night, a call came in regarding a disorderly crowd, and then the security that was working inside the mall responded to that, and then we ended up sending additional IMPD officers to help control what was going on outside after the crowd dispersed from the mall.
And I understand social media kind of helped you guys get a handle on what was going on. Tell me how that worked.
Well, we kind of learned informally in this case after arriving on the scene that, you know, young people will coordinate their activities through social media. In this case, we found out about this after we got there, but in some instances we do kind of monitor social media to kind of track their activities and sort of have a leg up and an advantage in responding to something that might occur.
Now, we know there were no injuries, at least not reported last night, but also no arrests. Are there any further plans for investigation?
At this point, we don't have any information about any injuries or arrest in this case, but we will monitor the scene or monitor that area and continue to work closely with Simon Mall to make sure that, you know, we work in conjunction to provide a kind of safe and comfortable environment at the mall.
And speaking of that, I know one of the main goals of both IMPD and the city has been these safe havens, a place for kids to go so they don't feel like they can just hang out at the mall and do whatever they want. The most recent few haven't had that many children there. Is there a plan to get the word out more about these safe havens?
Well, this is definitely an opportunity for us to kind of continue to listen to the young people in our community, and we will continue to work with our faith-based community and other institutions in the community to sort of establish more safe havens and work on that initiative, because it is something that we need. And so, you know, we invite people who want to be a part of mentoring to young people to be a part of this effort to kind of create safe and productive activities for them, to contact the Chief's office at 327-3282 to be a part of this. But we will continue working on that, and we're listening to what, you know, our young people in the community are saying.
All right, Assistant Chief, thank you so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it, and a lot of folks I
pleasure.
know looking for further updates on this case, so we will continue to bring you any developments on this latest brawl, both on air and online. Just go to WTHR.com for the latest updates. Well, loved ones are begging for answers this weekend in the murder of a Sullivan County woman who was 7 months pregnant. A farmer harvesting his field found the body of 20-year-old Tiffany Adams earlier this week. Her family had reported her missing 2 months ago. Police say Adams disappeared while walking from her father's house to see her mother, who lived a block away. Now her parents are demanding justice for their daughter and unborn grandson.
She was just the sweetest girl. Whoever's out there that did it, you will be caught. Can't even imagine that person being a person.
Her son was due on New Year's Day. Well, police are investigating the death of a man whose body was found near a walking path in Marion. The victim was discovered yesterday by the Rails to Trails walkway between the D Street Bridge and 9th Street. The coroner is now working to determine the man's identity and whether any foul play may have been involved. A man is in the hospital this morning after a shooting on Indy's northeast side. Officers were flagged down by a driver on Edgemere Court. That's near 42nd and Sheridan. They found the victim by an apartment complex, shot in the chest. He went to Eskenazi Hospital in critical condition but is now in stable condition. Investigators say it's unclear who shot the man and what prompted the violence. Some good news this weekend about an Indianapolis family hit by burglars on Christmas. The last of their 3 missing pets is back home. Criminals let the dogs run loose while stealing big screen TVs from the West Side home. The family found 2 of the Pomeranians soon after on the side of the road and in an animal shelter. And this weekend, the last of their lost pets, 8-Ball, has also returned home. Well, I'm guessing that 8-Ball had a rough couple of weeks out there with all the rain and now snow possibly on the way. Indy Snow Force reporting they're going to have some of those plows out starting just in a couple hours.
Yeah, beginning at 11 o'clock today. Good reason for that too, Naomi. In fact, over the next 3 days, we are seeing massive changes in the weather, including snow today, snow Monday night, and single-digit temperatures too. We'll break it all down for you coming up.
Plus, the number of flu deaths is rising in Indiana, how many have been infected, and what health officials say you can still do to prevent it. Welcome back. New information this morning shows the number of flu deaths in Indiana has risen significantly this past week. 36 people have now died as a result of this year's flu. Indiana health officials are still encouraging Hoosiers to get the flu shots. Health officials say this year's vaccine is still 50% effective, despite reports that the predominant flu strain was not covered in this year's vaccine. Well, the state gets a new tradition today with the crowning of a new Indiana State Fair queen. This is the first year the pageant will take place in January. Organizers moved the event from August so participants can have more time to prepare and can fully concentrate on the beginning of the school year. This year, 87 county queens will compete for the title of Miss Indiana State Fair. Final judging and crowning starts at 1 o'clock at Indiana Farmers Coliseum. And boy, the state fair feels a long way away, doesn't it?
It sure does. And I mean, it's going to feel that way for everybody, Naomi. We have just a lot of weather coming in the next few days. And I think the thing people will really realize is we're now in January. If you go back 1 year ago today, we had massive areas of snow. So at least it's not that, right?
Right, but those negative temps coming?
Yeah, 7 below zero in just a couple of days. Let's take a look at what's been going on the past few hours. This is a look at our Doppler 13 radar. Couple things to notice. The green, of course, equals rain. And if you have wet pavement this morning, there's a reason for that. We had these showers. But then up to the north in northern Indiana, we have some snow. What's going to happen is as this area of low pressure moves to the north, this is going to swing back around, and I'll show you how that plays out. In the meantime, the lights are already on at Lucas Oil Stadium as they're preparing for today's big playoff game against the Bengals. We're preparing downtown too. And look at our camera shaking as we show you the beautiful lights at the IPL building. It's because the wind is howling downtown. We're now at 36. That's wonderful. That's the average high. It ain't going to stay there, folks, because the winds will shift from the west to the northwest. In fact, our temperatures will basically fall all day long today, including during the game today. Now, I know a lot of you are getting ready to head out to church this morning, and if you do, just dress appropriately. Probably no snow until this afternoon, though. This is 1 p.m. 35, some scattered snow showers during the afternoon, and then that leaves, I would say, early evening, and from 6 o'clock to 10, temperatures continue to drop. In fact, we're talking about single-digit temperatures by the time tomorrow morning moves in. We'll be down to around 8 degrees when the kids are hitting the bus stop tomorrow morning to head to school. I know so many districts go back tomorrow. Then Monday, we're dry until the evening when we have some snow, and that snow continues during the morning rush hour on Tuesday, again when other districts are coming back to school. So this is not coming at a really good time. It's just not. 36 here and 48 this morning in Seymour. So the cold air now punching into Lafayette where it's 32. And it feels like 22 in Lafayette with the wind chill. Winds have been significant, 29-mile-per-hour gusts in Indianapolis and in Kokomo. In fact, about an hour ago, we were at 33-mile-per-hour gusts. 8:30, snow starts to move into our far western counties, but I think most of this doesn't arrive till the afternoon. So here we are at 2:30 with scattered snow showers everywhere. Indy Snow Force hits the road with 40 drivers today at 11 a.m. And so they're preparing for this. So hopefully as the game ends after the big Colts win, we'll be okay. But even by 6 p.m., still snow showers from Indianapolis to Richmond. This is going to move out. Cold air moves in. Now, what about this snow that's coming in Monday night? Some of the projections indicate 1 inch to 3 inches in the metro area, more than that in Lafayette. This is Monday night, 11:30, so snow is here. We'll be here with you on Sunrise talking about snow Tuesday morning when many districts go back. It could be in our northern counties that we have school delays for that back-to-school day. We'll see how this plays out, but I think that's going to happen. I wouldn't say it, obviously, if I didn't think this was going to happen. Then, as we move into about 9, 10 o'clock on Tuesday, that's it, and the coldest air of the season moves in. Here again, some of the snow projections, up to 1 inch of snow plus in Indianapolis on Tuesday, and much more than that possible in our northern counties. Temperatures fall all day long today, 8 degrees tonight, 16 tomorrow, snow Monday night into Tuesday, only 7 Wednesday, and Naomi on Wednesday night, the low drops down to 7 below zero.
Oh, that makes me cold already. Chuck, thank you. If you made a resolution this year to save money, pay off debt, there are some very easy ways that you can actually stick to your plan. And Sherry Lowe, the queen of free, joins us this morning with some great advice. And it starts with one that would be tough for me. No restaurants.
Okay, yeah. So this is difficult for most people, but you can do it. And what I would encourage you to do is just choose a set period of time that you will decide to stay out of restaurants completely. Prepare food at home, you know, brew your coffee at home, but set that period of time, and then also set a celebration date that when you do go out for the first time, you will love it and you will pick where you're going and what you're going to order, and it will be awesome. Our family is taking all of January off from restaurants.
And how your kids feel about that?
They're doing okay. They're fine with it.
They don't really have a choice, do they?
Not so much.
I love this next tip from you too, using cash in the grocery store.
So, you know, it is a great idea to use cash when you go to the store, and especially if you've never done this before. We operate on primarily a cash system only and don't use our debit card for almost anything except for the gas pump. But if you could, you know, put in an envelope how much money you want to spend on your groceries and then take it with you to the grocery store, you will do a much better job of staying on target. And I have these printable envelopes out on my website that you can put together. They're kind of cute and fun and have a little inspiration on the back of them as well.
And then you stick to it and you don't even overspend it all because you just don't have the money with you.
Exactly, yes.
And this one might seem simple, but coupons, okay?
Yes.
You've got your big book here.
I know, I am such a coupon nerd, and I think that you need to make it an aim in the new year to look for a coupon for any purchase that you make. So you don't necessarily have to do the traditional model like I do where you cut things out of the Sunday paper. You can use something like Meijer's M-Perks program or Target's Cartwheel or the Walmart Savings Catcher, depending on where you shop. All of those links will be out on Queen of Free today. Check out some less traditional ways to coupon and make a commitment to couponing this year.
And nowadays there are so many apps, coupon apps that you can
Exactly,
use. You
yes.
don't even have to have a book like this.
Right, but you could.
You
too.
could too, and it's cool. And last, we should mention your personal best tips and advice all come in a special little package.
Yes, so I have a book that came out this past week, and it's available online and where books are sold. So, you know, you can find more inspiration to pay off debt in the new year and lots of great concrete ideas to save money, both in the book and tons of links out on Queen of Free today as well.
Well, Sherry, thank you so much. We always appreciate having you here in studio with all of your wonderful tips and advice. And as always, you can find all of Sherry's tips on Hot Topics page of our website, WTHR.com, the Queen of Free. Well, now here's a look at what's next in sports with Rich Nye.
The new year brings conference play in college basketball. I have nothing but winners to tell you about. In West Lafayette, home court advantage leads to a good Big Ten start for the Boilermakers. And a halftime talk that inspired Purdue. Purdue suffered a couple of puzzling losses at home in non-conference play, but Mackey Arena is good to the Boilermakers so far in the Big Ten. The Boilermakers hosted Michigan Saturday, and that means Indiana Mr. Basketball Zach Irvin from Hamilton Southeastern is in West Lafayette. Irvin gives the Wolverines an 8-point lead in the second half. Then Michigan did not get a field goal for over 12 minutes. Vince Edwards scores and draws a foul, 16 points for Edwards. And A.J. Hammond's getting busy inside for a game-high 17 points. Hammond's playing with some fire this season. She likes that. John Octius on the drive as Purdue pulls away for a 64-51 win and a 2-0 start in the Big Ten.
Right walking through the tunnel, I mean, the last two games, both teams are talking trash in the tunnel, saying they got us, game over, things like that. So, I mean, we're getting in the locker room. I mean, that just amps us up. So coming out strong and getting stops, and I don't think they got offensive rebound in the second half. So boxing out, getting rebounds, and out rebounding them like we did, it really helped us.
Chris Holtman's first game as the permanent head coach at Butler. The Bulldogs at 15th ranked St. John's Saturday. Kellen Dunham with the hot hand knocked down 6 3-pointers. Butler down 4 at the half. Alex Barlow scored 15, and he makes the steal. The pass goes ahead. Rose Jones to Dunham. Dunham with the finish and 28 points. Butler led most of the second half. Roosevelt Jones gets a big bucket down the stretch. He had 14, and Butler wins 73-69. Former Notre Dame coach Digger Phelps watching the 14th ranked Irish take on Georgia Tech. Notre Dame trailed the entire game until Jaron Grant finds Pat Connaughton for the jam. This game goes to overtime. Grant makes the steal on his way to a game-high 21 points, and the Irish appear to be running away. But the game would go to double overtime. And finally, the Irish do take control. Connaughton for 3 of his 10 points, and Notre Dame wins 83-76. The Irish are 14-1. In town to face Marion, Todd Licklider knows how to pull a big upset. Jason Riley dishes to Curtis Green in the corner for 3. Green from Perry Meridian ties the game at 45. The crash dummy feeling no pain because Marion knocks off number 1. The Knights win 78-72. Terrific Operation Basketball girls game Saturday. Undefeated defending state champion Heritage Christian visiting Pike. Tyesha Harris makes the steal for the Eagles and scores at the other end. The junior is one of the top players in the state. Pike ranked in the top 10. Angel Baker, just a freshman, gets that bucket, but Heritage Christian wins 73-71 to remain unbeaten. NFL playoff Saturday, the Ravens leading the Steelers in the fourth quarter. The deflected pass is intercepted by the legs. Yes, the legs of Terrell Suggs. Nicely done, Terrell. Very next play, Joe Flacco, bootleg rollout on the play action. Crockett Gilmore makes the catch and scores a touchdown. The Ravens win 30-17. The Ravens play at New England next Saturday.
Good point.
Cam Newton looking for his first playoff win. Third quarter, Cam dumps the screen pass to Fozzie Whitaker. This would turn into a touchdown and give the Panthers the lead for good against the Cardinals. The Cardinals with a playoff record low, 77 yards offense. The Panthers win 27-16. A pair of local linebackers played in the U.S. Army All-American game in San Antonio. Asmar Bilal from Ben Davis, and this is Darren Kirkland from Lawrence Central High School making the tackle that preserved the win for the West, and the West wins 39-36. Hockey legend Bobby Hull at the fairgrounds on Blackhawks night for the Indy Fuel. The Fuel get their only goal, second period. Garrett Bembridge puts the rebound in the net to tie the game at 1, but the Fuel lose by a final of 3-1. And the Pacers play tonight at 9:30 in Los Angeles against the Lakers. Have yourself a great Sunday.
All right, Rich, thank you. And Chuck is here for one more last little check of our weather.
We've got a lot that's going to be going down this afternoon. Right now, 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts at the airport. The good news is that we're at 38 degrees. The bad news is that our temperatures slowly fall during the day. The winds exceeding 30 miles per hour. Look for snow showers this afternoon. And the snow force is out on the roads at 11.
All right, hope to see you back here at 9 o'clock.